Hey guys, Mark Balash here. Welcome in beautiful sunny Central Florida. It's going to be another hot day today, close to 110 degrees, heat index. Anyways, let's get right to it. What type of legal entity is best suitable for purchasing tax liens and tax deeds is the topic we're going to be talking about today. In this video, we'll tell you what type of legal entity we recommend using for purchasing tax liens and tax deeds and why. By the end of this video, you will know how to set up your new entity, what type of legal entity is best for purchasing tax deeds and tax liens, in what state do you want to form your new entity, important characteristics of legal entity. We'll talk about operating agreement, what an EIN number is and where to obtain it. We'll talk about articles of organizations, and finally we'll talk about annual minutes. Let me go over the legal disclaimer. I'm not an attorney, CPA, or licensed legal advisor. Any information in this video is for educational purposes only. You will need to seek a professional attorney and have them review your needs. So, let's get started. There is always confusion as what type of entity someone needs for his business. There are different types of legal entities that can be established, and unfortunately, in most cases, there is just no simple way to determine what type of entity is right for you because everybody's business is different. It will depend on a lot of factors such as what your company does, what your long-term goal is, scalability, and more. From a legal standpoint, I cannot tell you what type of legal entity is right for you. What I can and will tell you is how we are structured and what entity we use for purchasing tax deeds. We use a limited liability company. Our advisors and attorneys strongly recommend using an LLC to purchase both tax liens and tax deeds. Out of all entities, it is nearly always recommended to use an LLC that is most suitable entity for purchasing tax deeds and tax liens. Quickly, to understand what makes an LLC so useful, I will quickly give you a little bit of history on LLC and its origination. The first state to authorize limited liability company was the state of Wyoming back in 1977, and it took over a decade for all other states to fully adopt that entity. Because of that, an LLC is a fairly new entity that was fully established only in the mid to late 80s, in 1988 to be exact. A lot of people tend to like LLC because they do not have shareholders or stock certificates, and they do exactly as the name entails, limit liability. It offers the same protection as other more complex entities such as C Corporation or S Corporation. Namely, the only liability is the asset inside of that LLC. Your personal property or businesses you own separately are fully protected. Let's go over some of the basic characteristics of an LLC. You can have international investors. If you have investors or partners, they can easily be part of your LLC. LLC offers a lot of tax advantages even if you do not conduct any business yet. The managers can lend or borrow money from an LLC. In most states, there can be a single member owning an LLC or multi-member, which could be your sister, friend, partner, kid, whatever the case may be. Please note, some states require a minimum of 2 members. LLC is fairly easy to maintain. It is a pass-through taxation, meaning that the members are responsible for their own income taxes. LLC does not have board of directors. Foreign national can also own an LLC or can be a member or a manager. Both Wyoming and Nevada remain to be the most popular states to open an LLC. We recommend keeping all of the records in your binders. You need to have a business minutes, regardless whether it is a single member LLC or multi-member LLC. Another cool thing is that you may have annual meetings in South Beach, Florida every year, and it is a fully tax-deductible event. Now that we have covered all the characteristics of an LLC, let's talk about why do we need one to begin with. An LLC provides secure and flexible structure that offers a lot of tax benefits and protection for you and your company, even if you're not doing any business. First, an LLC protects your personal asset. It completely separates your business liabilities from your personal finances, ensuring that your house, car, savings, all that remains safe in case of any business debt or legal problems. In addition, an LLC offers liability protection for its members. This means that your personal asset won't be at risk in case the company faces lawsuit or incur financial obligations. Establishing a legal entity will always show credibility, which is why we strongly encourage you to form an LLC to get full protection from creditors in the event of a lawsuit. Remember, if you do not have a legal structure in place and the lawsuit strikes, all of your personal asset is at risk. We live in times where there are more lawsuits being filed than ever before, and a large percentage of those lawsuits are for stupid or unjustified reasons. So if you look at some of the statistics here, that goes back to April 3rd, 2019. It is estimated that there are more than 40 million lawsuits filed every year in the United States, and the total number of registered lawyers exceed 1 million. See that number? If you look at some of the states here, we have 5 states, top 5 states, the most lawsuits are being filed. New York, California, Texas, Florida, and Illinois. So obviously, if I would be an attorney, I would not want to be practicing law in Dubuque, Iowa. I would definitely want to go and move and do my job in one of these states, because that's where the demand is, and that's the most lawsuits are being filed in those states. Why is that? Because that's where a lot of people with a lot of money are residing. So a lot of lawsuits are being filed. Now remember, if you have a lot of money, that does not necessarily mean that the creditors are going to get your money if you're properly structured. So it's all about the protection, and it's all about having an LLC that is properly structured with a strong operating agreement. So I cannot stress it enough, the importance of that. But yeah, these numbers are crazy, very, very scary. Just keep it in mind. How can you get your new LLC established? I always recommend hiring an attorney and having him to form an LLC for you. You can always do it by yourself, not something I recommend personally, but can be done. You will need to file the paperwork with the state of secretary. You will need to file an IRS Form 1065, which lists the names of members. Just go to irs.org. Into a search form, you type 1065, it will show you the list, and you will just follow the instructions and fill it out. You will need to obtain an EIN number from the IRS website. I just go to irs.org. You can find it. I will show you the instructions how to get this done. Some companies will ask you to pay to get an EIN number. That's something you can do on your own at no extra charge instead of paying several $100s. To obtain a new EIN number, which is also known as a federal tax ID number, and it's pretty much the same as the social security number for people. EIN number is really to identify the company. So we're going to go to an IRS website, irs.gov. We're going to click on File, and we're going to click on Business and Self-Employed. Once we're here, we're going to click on Employer ID number, EIN. You're going to click on that. You're going to scroll down a little bit. You're going to click on Apply for EIN Online. That will get you to another screen. You're going to scroll down a little bit. You're going to click on Apply Online Now. Another window will pop up. Just ignore it. Click OK on that. And at this point, you would just click on Begin Application, and it will just you'll just basically go through the process. Remember, if you're a single member LLC or C Corp, so it just, we talk about that in the video. I'm not going to go over that, but just go through it. It doesn't cost you anything, so it's for free. Just be aware there are other websites that will try to charge you money for you to get the EIN number. You can easily go on the website as I have just described and just apply for it yourself. It might take several weeks. That's pretty much the process. I hope that was helpful. You will need an operating agreement. Strong operating agreement is very important. And lastly, you will need article of organization. Okay, you will need an article of organization document. So again, depending on which state you're in, I'm in the state of Florida. So
Just gonna go in and randomly put any names, real estate, for example. It's gonna, that's where you can search for all the names, all the companies in your state. So I'm just going to randomly pick up, this one is active. So let's open it up. You're gonna scroll down and you will see annual report, and you will see the first document usually is articles of organization. And that's where you will be able to see the basic information about the company. Company's name, company address, whatever information you will find, that's where it will be. You will see the date when it was incorporated. And so this is where you will be able to find it.
Requirements to have an LLC established. You will need a legal identification card issued by the government. Registered agent if an LLC is formed in the state other than your residence. You will need an EIN number issued by IRS that you will need to request. You will need to file an LLC Articles of Corporations. You will need to file state filing fee in the state an LLC is being formed. And cost may vary from state to state. For example, in the state of California, it will cost you about $800 and to maintain each year. And in the state of Florida, for example, where I live, it will cost you about $138. You will need to have a business name that is available in the state an LLC is being established. So if it is in the state of Florida, for example, you would just go to Sunbiz and search for the name. You will still need to contact the state to make sure that name is available. New name of your LLC will need to be filed and registered with the state. License and permits if the state requires it. It does not really apply to what we're doing, so you don't have to worry about that part. Lastly, a strong operating agreement is extremely important to maintain a good protection. Let's discuss what a properly established LLC offers. Number 1, strong charging order protection. Number 2, anonymity. Number 3, corporate well, which will protect you and your family from the business. And number 4, many tax advantages. There are multiple ways how you can have your LLC set up. When you will be forming your new LLC, you will need to indicate whether it will be managed by members or managers. And here's the difference between these two options. With managers managed LLC, only the managers share management responsibilities and make decisions. Whereas member managed LLC, all members share equal management responsibilities. Okay, I know this is a boring topic, guys, but let's briefly talk about LLC taxation. Anytime an entity is established, you will need to elect how will that LLC corporation be taxed. An LLC can be taxed in one of the 4 ways: as a C corporation, as a S corporation, partnership, or disregarded entity. And the number of members in LLC will determine how will that LLC be taxed. You will also find that both C corporation and S corporation taxation are being elected in active businesses. When you look at it from a tax point of view, there are 2 options we touched on earlier today: single member LLC and multi-member LLC. Single member LLC, it always defaults to sole proprietor status, and that means there is only one owner who is also a manager. You then have a C corporation selection or an S corporation selection. Multi-member LLC always defaults to a partnership status, meaning there are multiple owners or managers. Same as with a single member LLC, you can elect C corporation selection or an S corporation selection. An easy way to remember this is single member LLC equals one owner, multi-member LLC equals multiple owners, more than one. Single member LLC owned 100% by another company will always have a disregarded status, which means you will not have to file taxes for that entity. Remember, one LLC or single member LLC equals one owner. Multi-member LLC owned by multiple partners will always have a partnership status, and we'll look at an illustration here in just a little bit. Important facts related to taxation to remember: when it comes to tax advantages, protection, and forming an entity, you do have the same legal rights as any other company. Does not really matter if they make $8 billion and you make $8,000. You do have the same rights as they do. On a personal note, never leave your personal asset inside of your LLC that is used for business. Let's look at the different scenarios on how your new LLC can be set up. In this scenario, we have one person owning a property that he purchased at a tax deed sale. As you can see in our illustration, there is no legal entity involved here. What does that tell you? Well, if there is no LLC, that means that there is no protection. An LLC is designed to separate you and your business. All of your personal assets, the house, the cars, stocks with appreciated value, gold, everything is at risk if the lawsuit strikes. Let's change the gears here a little bit and look at a structure that is protected. So let's look at option A. We have one LLC, we have one person involved, one person owning an LLC. That would equal to single member LLC. If I would be starting to invest in tax liens and tax deeds all by myself with a little bit of money, I would want to form a single member LLC in the state of my residence. Since there are no other managers or members, it's just me, it is what we refer to as a disregarded entity, meaning I don't have to file taxes for that LLC because it will all flow into my personal tax return. However, let's say I have a partner. Let's look at option B. We have one LLC, multiple partners right now as opposed to one person, and that would equal to multi-member LLC, also known as a partnership. If I plan on working with a partner, I would set up an LLC that would be established as a partnership since there is more than one person involved. By the way, if you decide to form an entity in the state with no state income tax, it's not going to do you any good because you will still end up paying the taxes. Take into consideration the registered agent that is required if an LLC is established in the state outside of your residence. The fee may vary. We pay $135 for each entity, but it can be much lower. You can Google it, and there are a bunch of companies that offer these types of services in each state. Just go to Google and type registered agent in whatever state, and you will get a result of a bunch of companies. If it is a partnership, the manager has to file a separate tax return for that LLC as long as it is active. And then the tax return will flow into K1 for all partners. Let's look at the option C. We have 4 LLCs involved here. Multiple partners, which would equal to multi-member LLC equals partnership. We have a LLC1, LLC2, and LLC3 owned by another LLC4, which is a holding company. Now, if you do have access to more of the working capital to work with, you may want to consider structuring your LLC in the following way. What you would want to do is form another LLC in the state of Wyoming, which is a holding company, that will serve to offer not only the best protection, but anonymity as well. Let's say you're planning to purchase multiple properties, each worth several $100,000. I would definitely want to place each property into a single member LLC that will be located in the state the property is located in. Here's an example. You are planning to purchase 3 properties, each owned by a separate LLC. Each LLC is owned 100% by a holding company. A holding company is owned either by yourself 100% or by 2 partners 50-50 ownership. Think about these entities, LLC1, LLC2, and LLC3, as a single independent person that is completely separated from each other. As a result of having this type of structure in place, you will minimize your risk, and most importantly, you will be limited to the risk of your overall investment. As shown in our illustration, you only own one Wyoming holding company, LLC4. And that company owns 3 single-member LLCs, LLC1, LLC2, and LLC3. Now remember, you do not own those 3 LLCs, your holding company does. With this structure, you only file one tax return for your holding company, which is your LLC4. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, the lawsuit strikes and an LLC1 is being sued for whatever reason. The most the creditor can get out of the lawsuit is what's inside of that LLC1. They cannot touch your personal asset and the asset in LLC2 and LLC3 that is completely separated. The asset is also protected in a holding company that serves to protect you and all of your disregarded entities. All that is well protected. The only thing that's exposed at this point would be an asset in your LLC1. And that does not necessarily mean that you will lose all of your money in your LLC1, of course. LLC1 is protected to a certain degree. So if the property inside of an LLC1 is worth, let's say, $250,000, that does not necessarily mean that you will lose $250,000. An important point for you to take home is you always want to appear from the outside as broke, from both the business and personal side of it. And a properly established LLC with a strong operating agreement will accomplish that. You want to have an entity that is correctly structured from day one and nobody can get to. If, God forbid, something happens and one of your LLC is being sued. If you look at the statistics, as of 2014 or 15, 1 out of 4 companies in the state of California were being sued. Obviously that number has changed, but I hope you got my point on this. There is just so much more that I can go on this topic, but that's as far as I will for this illustration. Let me know if you would like to learn more about the legal structure, protection, or anonymity. What does an ideal structure have in common? 4 things. Having all of your legal documents in order, strong operating agreement, having an LLC formed in the state that offers strong charging order protection, and another layer of protection by adding a Wyoming LLC, a holding company. By having all of these 4 things in place, your personal asset will remain well protected and you will no longer have to worry about losing everything you ever worked for. If you find the information in this video helpful, please let me know, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more valuable tips and insights. And make sure to check my next video, which will cover the entire process from purchasing one of our properties at the auction, the legality of the paperwork, the rehab, the final sale of the property, and we will also share the profits to give you an idea what's possible. Thanks for watching. Until next time.